Now I'm going to explore how to translate the participle when I'm reading Psukim in Tanakh. There are 4 conjugations for the participle that we saw a few minutes ago. Shomer, shomeret or shomra, shomerim, and shomerot. The fact that there are 4 conjugations for the participle, masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, feminine plural, that's 4 conjugations, is very different than past tense and future tense. Past tense, right? Past tense has how many different conjugations, right? Do I have the same conjugation for masculine singular you and I masculine singular? No, I have different conjugations. It's more finite. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different ways to conjugate things. My shoresh in past tense. And in future tense, similarly, I have, it depends how you count, if you count the doubles, but you have between 8 and 10 different ways to conjugate a shoresh in future tense. So right off the bat, I see that my participle is not similar to past tense and future tense, but it's similar to something else. Can you think of something that you learned in 1004 last semester that has 4 different conjugations? What has 4 conjugations? Something for masculine singular, something for feminine singular, something for masculine plural, something for feminine plural. So there are 2 different things that it could be. Can you guess? So I hope that you were able to guess that having 4 options, masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, and feminine plural, is very similar to adjectives and nouns. Okay, adjectives and nouns. So look, I have shomer as a participle for masculine singular. A melech is a masculine singular noun. Tov is a masculine singular adjective. Similarly, I have shomeret shomra is my feminine singular participle. Malka is my feminine singular noun. Tova is my feminine singular adjective. Similarly, I have for my plural shomerim and shomerot, masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine plural for both nouns, adjectives, and participles. So I see right away that I have 4 choices, right? 4 different conjugations for each of these, and they follow the pattern of 1 male, 1 female, many males and many females. Okay, so let's explore this a little further. So the participle, the term participle, didn't come about by accident. It actually indicates what its function is in a sentence. So the participle participates in multiple forms of speech. So the major parts of speech are verbs, nouns, and adjectives. And the participle participates in all 3 parts of speech. Similarly, in Hebrew, the participle is called beinoni. Bein means between, because it floats between verbs, nouns, and adjectives. It's the same idea, okay? As a verb, the participle can be past, present, or future tense. Now, we have to ask our question, the essential question here, how we can tell the difference. Okay? How can I tell if the same word, let's write a word here, kotev. Okay? Kotev can be past tense, 1 male was writing, present tense, 1 male is writing, or future tense, 1 male will write. So how on earth am I going to be able to tell the difference if it's conjugated in the exact same way for past, present, and future? I'm forced to say that I have to look at context. And anyone who's been in my class knows that I do not like to say, just look at context. I always feel like I have to give you specific clues to look at in order to properly translate the word. Okay, so let's look at some specific contextual clues to help us translate the participle when it appears as a verb. Most of Tanakh is written as a story, as a narrative. Okay, and in the story, I have two different voices. I have the narrator narrating the story, telling me what happened. And when a narrator narrates a story that happened in the past, as you know, all the events of the Tanakh happened in the past, right? When the narrator is narrating to me the story, it's going to be past tense. So if the narrator uses the word kotev, right, I know that someone wrote something in the past. It's past tense. But when I have somebody speaking in Tanakh, whether it be a person or if it's God, right, the speaker will generally talk about what's happening or what will happen. We'll talk about the present or future tense events. So let's take the same shoresh, kotev, my participle, okay? And this is one male, kotev. If I have a speaker saying it, right, it could be one male is writing or one male will be writing. Okay, so it depends if I have a narrator or of a speaker. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So here I have an actual pasuk from Tanakh, from Sefer Yehoshua, where Yehoshua said to Bnei Yisrael, Hinei Aron Habrit, Over Lifnechem Bayarden. So notice here, right, my participle is what? My participle is over. I have my O sound in it, my cholim in the middle. It rhymes with shomer. Hinei Aron Habrit. Behold the Aron. Over. So I ask myself, is there a speaker or is there a narrator, right? Which one is it? Do I have a speaker or do I have a narrator? So I look back earlier in the pasuk and I say, I have a speaker. So when I have a speaker, it makes my participle what? Either it's present tense or future tense. Okay? So Yoshua said to Bnei Israel, behold, the Aron is passing before you in the Jordan or will be passing before you in the Jordan. Okay? So either one would be okay, either present or future tense, for my word over, okay, because I have a speaker. Now let's look at some other cases. Let's look at 4 examples where we see this principle of narrator versus speaker in action. The first example is from Sefer Shemot, Perek Gimel. Hashem is talking to Moshe, and he said, Hamakom asher ata omed alav, admat kodesh hu. So what is my participle? What's my participle in this pasuk? Omed. I have my cholam, my o made. Wait, I have my o made. I have my cholam. And under my mem, I have a tzere rhyming with shomer, my classic example of a masculine singular kal participle. Now I need to ask myself if this participle is functioning as past tense, present tense, or future tense. So we just said that if I have a speaker, it's going to be present or future tense. But if I have a narrator, it's going to be past tense. so let's look at this pasuk. So I have a speaker. Hashem's talking to Moshe. So when I have a speaker, right, it's going to be present or future tense. So the place, hamakom, the place, asher, that, ata omi, that you are standing, alav, on it, admat kodash hu. It is a holy land. Okay, so here I have a speaker, right? So my participle is going to be present tense or technically future tense. Okay, let's look at number 2 in Sefer Shemot. Vayomer Hashem al Moshe. So immediately I see that we're dealing with a speaker. Again, I have a speaker. So therefore my participle is going to be present or future tense. Hashem natan lachem hashabat. Hashem gave to you the Shabbat. Al kain, therefore, hu notain lachem bayom hashishi lechem yomayim. What's my participle? Notain, because it rhymes with shomer. I have my cholam in there, a cholam chaser. Notain. So Hashem gave to you the Shabbat. Therefore, I have a speaker, he will give or is giving to you by Yom HaShishi, on the 6th day, lechem, food, yomayim. What's yomayim? My ayim suffix, that means for 2 days, right? The ayim suffix means 2. Okay? So Hashem said to Moshe, Hashem gave to you the Shabbat, therefore he will give to you, or is giving to you, on the 6th day, food, lechem, food, for 2 days, yomayim, for 2 days. Okay? So here we see my speaker makes it present or future tense. Okay, let's look at number 3, Sefer Yirmiyah. Hashem said to Yirmiyahu, so right away I see I have a speaker. Immediately I say speaker, my participle is going to be present tense or future tense. So Hashem said to Yirmiyah, Ata, you, al titzpalal. Al with an aleph means don't. You just flip around the aleph and the lamed, right? Al, lo, don't titzpalal, don't daven. Ba'ad ha'am hazeh, on behalf of this nation, ki eineni shomea otcha. So where's the participle in ki eineni shomea otach? Where's the participle? So my participle is shomea. Okay? So we're going to get to why there's that random patach at the end later. But you can see that the structure shomea follows the same pattern as like a word like shomer, right? Shomea. It's just I have underneath my ayin, I just happen to have this patach, which we'll get to in unit 2. So shomea, I have my my cholam, which tells me it's a participle. I have my tzere, right? So it's a participle. Okay, now I have a speaker, again, so speaker is going to tell me it's present tense or future tense. So Hashem's telling Yirmiyah, don't daven on behalf of this people, on behalf of the nation, because I am not listening to you, or I will not listen to you. Okay, either it's going to be present, I am not listening, or it's going to be future, I will not listen to you. Okay, let's do the 4th example. In Yirmiyah also, Parak Mem Daled, Ko Amar Hashem, so said Hashem, Lama atem osim ra'a gedola. So here I have osim as my participle. And do I have a speaker? I do. Ko Amar Hashem. So said Hashem, quote, Lama atem, why are you, right? It's going to be present or future tense. Why are you or technically it could be why will you, but probably why are you makes more sense. Why are you doing great evil? Okay, so in these 4 examples, we see a speaker is going to indicate present or future tense. So let's look at this example in Bereshit, Parakut Zayin. So Hashem's talking to Abraham, and Sarah and Abraham are childless. And Hashem said, Sarah ishtecha yoledet lecha ben. So Sarah ishtecha, Sarah your wife, yoledet. Yoledet rhymes with shomeret, which tells me it's a participle. Okay? And we're going to have to figure out, is it past, present, or future participle? Okay. So your wife, right? Sarah, your wife, blank for you, a child, a son. Okay? So my question is this past, present, or future? So let's look at the clues we've spoken about. So Hashem is talking to Abraham, so I have a speaker. And again, if I have a speaker, right, it's going to be present or future tense. So which one is it? So the shoresh yud lamed daled means to birth. Okay, in Kal, it means to birth. So if Sarah and Abraham do not have any children, and Sarah is not pregnant at this point, so Hashem is telling Abraham, Sarah, your wife, is birthing a child for you, or will birth a child for you. So obviously it has to be future tense, because she is not actively giving birth at this moment. It's talking about the future. So Sarah, your wife, will give birth, will birth for you a son. Okay, so let's look at some other examples. So here we have our 3 final examples of this clip. So the first example is number 11 in Melachim Bet. Ko amar Hashem, so said Hashem. So here I have a speaker, right? Hashem speaking. So speaker is going to tell me what? That it's present or future tense. Okay? So, so said Hashem, hineni, hineani, right? Here I, oseh, I am doing evil to this place, or I will do evil to this place. Usually when Hashem speaks in this way, he's going to be talking about the future, right? He's going to describe what's going to happen. It's a prophecy about the future. So said Hashem, here I will do evil to this place. Okay? And Yehoshua, right? Yehoshua is speaking to Bnei Israel, so that tells me that I'm dealing with a speaker, so it has to be present or future tense. Be'od shloshet yamim, in another 3 days. So is this describing the present or future? So in another 3 days, you will pass over through the Yarden, through the Jordan River. Okay? So here we have my shorish ovrim, right, over. My shorish ayin bat resh is my base here. And I have my cholam, my O sound, which tells me it's a participle. I have my suffix, because I'm dealing with atem, right, masculine plural. So you will pass through the Jordan. Okay. In our final example, in number 13, it's taking place in the Midbar, right? I am in, look at the book. I'm in the Midbar, right, the book. And Moshe turns to his father-in-law, Chovav. Vayomer Moshe leChovav. So we have a speaker, right? The speaker is Moshe speaking to Chovav, Yitro. And he says, Nos'im anachnu el hamakom asher amar Hashem, oto etein lachem. So what's the participle? What's the participle in this pasuk? Okay, did you say nosim? Okay, nosim. It rhymes with ovrim. It rhymes with shomrim. Okay, I have my o in there, my cholam. Right, I have my im suffix. Why do I have an im suffix? Because of the word anachnu. Right, anachnu is referring to masculine plural in this context. Okay, so nosim anachnu. So I have a speaker. Right, so we are traveling, or probably we will travel, because they are not actively traveling at that moment. So we will travel el hamakom, to the place, asher amar Hashem, that God said, oto, it, meaning the place, etain lachem. Etain, right, if you remember from last semester, right, the shoresh is natan, right, with an aleph prefix, so I will give. The nun, in this context, becomes a dagesh in the next letter, right? Oto etain lachem, it I will give to you. Okay, so we finished looking at what happens when my participle is in a pasuk where I have a speaker, right? The participle will be translated as either present or future tense based on context. You'd have to differentiate. And next, we're going to have to look at what happens when I have a participle appear in a story. How do I translate the participle in that context? Okay, so stay tuned.